Hello, how y'all doing? So this is the 3rd of July. So how was you all's 4th? Now I'm going to tell you, I don't celebrate 4th of July. You're going to do these stupid things when you're young and you don't know the whole truth. But I don't celebrate the 4th of July because I don't think it lives up to what it's supposed to represent. And so I don't celebrate that. Although I agree that this is the greatest country on the earth. Yeah, I do a lot of research, and I do think in researching other countries that this is the greatest country on earth because of its freedom. You can have any religion in this country. You can have different views in this country, and because uh, the freedom. Like I said, the freedom. You can make as much money as you want to make, and it's a beautiful country. But and everybody wants to come here. Everybody from all countries want to come here. The Africans want to come here. The Koreans, the Vietnamese, all of them want to come here. Not that they should, but they all want to come here. Serial killers want to come here because they're going to get caught in their other countries and get the death penalty. The rapists, the drug traffickers, the human prostitution traffickers, they want to come here because they have more freedom. Plus, they get to take a shower every day. They want to come here. They eat better food. So that's what we get. We don't get the tired, the poor, the huddled masses yearning to breathe free. We don't get the best and the brightest here. We get the serial killers, the rapists, the ones who they know they'll get the death penalty in their country, but they won't get it here. They know that. So that's what we get. You know what? All these people coming here, they're not good citizens. I'm surrounded by narco traffickers. Absolutely surrounded. Central American illegals. They are all narco traffickers. Every last one of them. There's not one that works for a living. I know because I'm all around the neighborhood. I walk around the neighborhood. I know what's in the neighborhood. There's not one Central American, a bunch of them here, not one that works for a living. Not one. All of them are on welfare. They get qualified to even buy the house on welfare. Okay? But they all are narco traffickers. So we don't get the best and the brightest. See, I have a problem with the United States. A black woman lived on Skid Row for 8 years. Why does California even allow that? Yet a Central American illegal who's not even supposed to be in this country, they get housing in 2 weeks, 5 days, because I hear them say it. I watch the videos. They're going to get housing in about 5 days. But yet a black woman, they allow a black woman to live on Skid Row for 8 years. How about the black senior citizen in his 70s and 80s, still living on Skid Row for 20 years? I don't buy that the state of California cannot find him a studio apartment. I don't buy that. They give the Mexicans, they give the Central Americans who are not even citizens, they're not supposed to be in this country, they get what? We'll have an apartment for you in 2 days. Paid for by Uncle Sam. They know they're not going to pay the rent. $2,500 a month paid for by Uncle Sam. And I don't buy it that the United States government cannot pay for this black man who's been on Skid Row for 20 years. They can't even find him a studio apartment. I don't buy that. Why can't the government pay for that also? What about the young white males on Skid Row? Some of them are veterans. I don't buy that the government can't even find a studio apartment for these young white males. Some have multiple sclerosis. Some have neuromuscular diseases. And the United States government's just letting them sit there. They don't even care about the whites, the poor whites. But no, they'll give an apartment to the Central American illegals in 2 days, in a week, because I hear them say it. They can come across the border in a month, within less than a month. Those Central American illegals will have an apartment in California because they say so. They will have, if they come over here across the border within a month, less than a month, they will have a job with no resume required. They will have a job and they will have an apartment paid for by the state of California and or the federal government. And black people, poor blacks, can't even find an apartment. But California gives it to the Central American illegals first. I can't reconcile a country like that. In Mississippi, Louisiana, Georgia, they're kicking blacks out of Section 8 and subsidized housing. They are phasing out Section 8, so we won't have anything. Us black women, we won't have anything. But yet the Central American illegals who aren't even supposed to be in this country at all, they're getting those apartments paid for by Uncle Sam. But they phasing out Section 8 for black people. and poor whites, but they just giving apartments to Central American illegals, which are not even supposed to be in this country. I have a problem with a government like that. I have a problem with a government that would allow an 80-year-old white female to live on the street, and she's nothing wrong with her. She's just old. I have a problem with a government like that that allows that. But they don't have a problem giving the illegals an apartment. They cannot find a place in a nursing home for that lady. I don't buy that. I have a problem with a government like that. Now, you take like black people, we still don't get government loans. I don't care about this PPE fraudulent stuff. I don't care about that. We can't even get a loan to start a small business. We can't even get we need $1,200 for a food truck. They're not going to give it to us. Okay? They're not going to give it to us. $1,200 for a food truck. But yet they give a small business loan to non-citizens, people who aren't supposed to be here. But they won't give it to black people, or poor whites for that matter, but they definitely won't give it to black people. Illegal will go to, for example, they'll get psychiatric care in a hospital for 10 days, which, a bill like that, I was only in the hospital for 1 day, 24-hour period. As I remember, one total 24-hour period, $200,000. And I was only there for 1 day, 24-hour period. I was gone. No staying there 3 days. And I got a bill for $200,000. I'm still paying those bills. A year after it happened, I'm still paying those bills. A Central American illegal go in the hospital for 10 days for psychiatric care. No bill at all. They have a baby. No bill. That's why they have babies every 9 months, because they don't pay for nothing. I saw a Central American illegal woman who had one baby in a carriage, not even walking, and then a baby on the way. You know what? She's not worried about, because she knows Uncle Sam's going to pay all that bill. She knows that Uncle Sam's going to pay the whole bill. I have a problem with a government like that you won't even give the citizens a break in medical care, but you'll pay 100% of the bill for these Central American illegals who aren't supposed to be in this country. See, they still trying to screw us. They're still trying to screw us blacks. They kill rappers if they buy property in the black community. They kill rappers if they patronize a black store or a black business. Okay, they kill the rappers. Okay, they put in there all black celebrities. You can't do anything for the blacks in America. You can't do anything. You can't build them a house. You can't. So they're careful. All those black celebrities are careful not to do anything for the blacks in America. They're careful not to even buy a pair of shoes. They're careful not to even say, okay, well, she needs a ramp on her house. I'll do that. I'll buy that. Okay. There's so much discrimination in housing, but discrimination is against blacks. It's always, we're the first enemy. It's always against other. Native Americans don't get nothing. They get less than we get, which is nothing. They get less than nothing. But look, Mexicans get it all. Those Central American illegals, they come in here, they're not citizens. They get a job in probably less than a month. They get a job, they get a place to stay, and they get food stamps. They get all that. We don't get nothing of that. I can't even get food stamps. Although I would like food stamps, I can't even get it. I got to save my money to buy a bag of nuts. That's how bad it is, y'all. I got to eat slowly. Okay, I got to eat simple food. I don't even eat good food. I eat simple food. Okay. Now, see, for every illegal Central American in this country, that means a white man is not having a job. That means a black man is not having a job. That means a black person has nowhere to live. That means a white person has nowhere to live. One apartment complex, the white people have to pay. You talk about discrimination. One apartment complex, the white people have to pay for the full price. But Central American, they get on welfare. They take their welfare voucher to that same apartment complex, and they rent for free. Government pays it. $2,500 a month, paid for by U.S. government, Uncle Sam. Okay, so I think some of those things are just fraudulent. Oops. For some reason, we are public enemy number one to the government, U.S., to this white government. For some reason, it is a white government. I mean, you may as well admit that. We are public enemy number one. We don't get nothing. Black people don't get nothing. And why they kowtowing to the Central American illegals, I don't understand. I think it's basically because the Central American illegals have something that we want, and that is drugs. We want the cocaine. We want the heroin. We want the fentanyl. Why? Because if it wasn't for drugs, the United States economy would totally collapse. Because Central American illegals, they take that money, they take the drug money, they buy a $80,000 truck. They go buy a house that they can't afford. Pay cash for it, probably. Okay, so that's putting something into the economy. I mean, they finished saying that they contribute $3.3 trillion to the economy. They take their drug money and buy houses. They take their drug money and buy cars. They take their drug money and buy land so they can put a trailer on it or something. That's why they spent $3.3 million. One Mexican went to McDonald's. He's probably spent $75 on that junk food at McDonald's. Okay, so they are contributing to the economy, even though it's illegal drugs. See, I think the United States government's trading people for drugs. Okay, they're taking so many illegal Central Americans as long as they keep the drugs coming in the country. Because the United States government needs the drugs. It stimulates the economy. The United States government has to have drugs. They have to have cocaine, fentanyl, all of that. Have to have it. Because otherwise the economy will collapse. Because like I said, they take the drug money, they buy cars. They buy houses, they buy land, they buy food, okay? But see, I have a problem celebrating the country like that. I know it's a flawed country, it is flawed, but I don't see why I have to celebrate it. I have issues with it. Have a nice day.